Hello, beautiful souls. It's Adani Tyler from Heart Centered Alchemy. And today is Tuesday, the 15th of October. And at the end of this week, we will be experiencing the lunar eclipse, which is on the 18th to 19th of October. Now, the eclipse period is a very powerful period. It's like an opening, a gateway that we can enter for that next level, that next layer of our journey. And before we move into that eclipse period, that period beforehand can be quite intense because it's in that time we go through a lot of clearing and cleansing and confrontation as we are being confronted by or with our biggest fears and our biggest challenges. It's like it brings it up to the surface to show us what's going on so that we have the opportunity to face it full on, to confront it, and to move through it. And in that confronting and that moving forward, we allow our soul to expand and evolve even more to that next level that allows us to be on that path of our soul's mission, our own soul's journey, to complete or to continue what it is that we have come here to do. So our biggest challenge is our chance for our greatest evolution and expansion. It's like our own personal test. And no one else has that particular test. We each have our own soul's purpose that's written in our heart. And it's not something that is clear to anyone else. It's only really clear to the inner authority of ourself. And this is where we often need to be that real warrior for ourself and for our purpose and for our spirit. Because people outside of us are not necessarily going to understand it. And that purpose and that path may mean that we need to step aside from conforming to the rules and patterns and stories of our family. It may mean that we're stepping outside of the accepted mores of our culture, of our workplace, of our religion, of our society, and we need to forge our own path. Now, in forging that path, of course, it requires strength and courage. It requires, like being Xena, being the warrior, the courageous warrior for yourself. And ultimately, the only person who can be the warrior for you and for your soul and for your purpose is you. Now, last week, I had the experience, because, I'm going along this journey too. And last week, I got really mad. I got really angry. And it was awesome, because it was possibly the very first time in a long while that I had allowed myself to stand up and to defend my space, my essence, and reclaim that power back to me. Because for a long time, I had been handing over the power and the responsibility of something that I was really afraid of and challenged by to somebody else. And in many ways, I was blaming them or holding them accountable for the obstacles that I was perceiving to be in my path. Now, that burst of anger was amazing. That burst of anger can sometimes bring real clarity. And it's like in that cleansing fire, it also too seemed to disconnect or erode any of the patterns of the programming of the imprints or the habits from family, from culture, from anything that was keeping me held back. But in doing so too, I was also very aware that this was also the time of taking complete responsibility and taking responsibility for an area of my life that I had been avoiding because I was afraid that I was unable to live up to it, to do it. So anger is not necessarily a negative emotion, quite the contrary. Anger is a really important emotion, a very important energy that brings that fire, that reignites our passion and allows us to really claim our life and responsibility for our precious life essence and our precious purpose as well, so that we can continue forward. So if you have been having a tricky time in this cycle, just allow yourself a moment to explore or understand and confront what it is that you are really up against. What's your biggest challenge that's in front of you right now? What's the biggest fear that if you face it will allow you to move forward, to evolve and to expand so that you can really be on your path and in your purpose? What would give you the greatest freedom? Because, that's the thing. Confronting that fear, confronting that challenge is our doorway to our own freedom. And the only one who has the key to that freedom and the ability to walk through that door is you. So give to yourself now that which you have been seeking from others. Give yourself permission. Validate yourself. Believe in yourself. Trust yourself. Love yourself. And inspire and encourage yourself to do that thing that you know in your heart it is that you are called to do. Lots of love to you. And if you do need any assistance in moving through those barriers and connecting with that heart's calling within you to reclaim the strength of your soul and your space, then call me and arrange a time for a consultation. But first, allow yourself to have that consultation with you. Because regardless of anyone else who is there to support and to assist you, ultimately it is your responsibility for you to connect with your knowing and your truth. Namaste and have a beautiful week.